Welcome back to the Robinson Replay. What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great week. How you doing, Dad?
Doing good. So far, so good. It's been a cold week.
Whew.
It's been
Has
pretty,
it been cold?
Been pretty interesting, but it's winter. It's the way it is
Surviving
here
through the blizzards
in Ohio. Winter.
Yep, here in northern Kentucky for myself, and northwest Ohio for you. Both got a lot of snow. Cars snowed in, and it's been below freezing here of everything. It's nuts, isn't it?
It is, but it's the way it goes. It'll soon be thawing out. Heck, February's around the corner here, starting Sunday. So we'll
Spring's right around the corner here. So yep, we still got the Super Bowl yet to be played here.
One game left
for the NFL.
For the dub.
Yep, we'll obviously be talking about the AFC NFC game that happened last week here, but obviously, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, we won't quite have our Super Bowl picks yet. Kind of touch on that, and then talk about some other headlines across sports that are happening right now as some filler for this week, but still definitely some really great content for y'all here, but probably a shorter episode, probably our first episode without any actual picks here, so. Yeah.
Well, we definitely have a good one here going in Cleveland right now. It's Lakers, Cavs, 57-55, Cleveland at halftime.
Cleveland.
So, they had a big tribute for LeBron tonight. He was crying and stuff.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a little emotional tonight.
Because they're saying, I mean, if obviously this is his last year, then this would be his last game in Cleveland, right?
It could. Yeah, this would be for sure. Yeah.
Unless definitely. I guess they met in the finals, but yeah.
Right.
But man, it would be just such an amazing story if he came back to Cleveland for 1 year, just do the retirement parade around the league.
I saw a thing today saying the Cavs would be open to him coming back to Cleveland next year. So
I think it's just it would be a perfect storybook ending for LeBron and the career to come back to Cleveland and make one last run at it. And then, then the thing will be like every stop, every city will be such a big thing, make it an event, of LeBron and celebrating him in that way while still playing really quality basketball and LeBron joining the Cavs and, potentially, changing around a couple pieces there. That's a finals caliber team on the East, 100%.
Oh, definitely. But for me, I don't want this whole swan song. Who wants to come back to Cleveland? I just don't want it to be like, oh, we're going to, give you this at your last stop and this. Just play the game and enjoy it. And if you're still able to play it well, then play the games like they're meant to be played. I don't think he would want this big, huge thing because obviously if this is his last year, he's not getting this big, huge thing. I mean, of course, in Cleveland, it's a little different. He was there forever. The Cavs drafted him. He won a championship there. So obviously it's a little different there, but I just think that, if he could go out as a champ again, that'd be awesome. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. That
they would have to definitely move some parts in order for that to happen. Heck, they may be in on this next person, so who knows what could happen with that. If that happens, he won't be coming back probably.
Yeah, this is going to be what is going to affect the rest of the league here. It's either this happens and then the rest of the league will follow with some type of involvement. So from what I've heard, it's like if this trade does happen, there's going to be like multiple teams involved in it. Side deals going left and right just to make this deal happen. Obviously, we're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo wanting to leave Milwaukee, the two-time MVP. It's been a long time coming now over the past year or two here, where he's been pretty disgruntled and is obviously looking for a bigger market team that is competitive.
Yeah, he wants to win. He wants to win another championship. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
He's not getting any younger. He's still at the top of his game. He wants to win another championship. The thing is, the teams that are going to get him, they're going to have to move mountains in order to get him. Because obviously it's going to be multiple picks, multiple players, multiple teams involved. It's not just some little, we're going to trade him for him. And it's definitely not going to be that way. So it's going to be multiple teams. money. Will he sign an extension? I know he's got, I believe, 1 year
Mhm.
left on his current deal. You're going to have to give up a lot to get him, but is that going to propel you to be the NBA champ? The teams that are interested: the Heat, the Knicks, Golden State, Minnesota.
Mhm.
Obviously it really hurt for Golden State to lose Butler for the season. So that's sort of a piece that maybe they could have traded for. I don't know
Yeah.
who else they would obviously they're not trading Steph. Minnesota, they're not going to trade Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So what are the pieces or parts they would move to get
And
him
that's
out of
where
there?
multiple teams need to come in to
Yeah.
really supplement these deals, and then obviously the draft picks, and yeah, it would
Yeah.
be like a laundry list of different teams and different players and picks and
Yeah, definitely.
all sorts of stuff to try to make this happen. Do you
Yeah.
think that so February 5th is the NBA trade deadline? Do you think that this trade
That's
will
next
happen?
Friday, is it? Next Friday? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
Or
so.
Thursday.
Do you think this trade will happen, or do you think this
Thursday.
is will be a postseason summer trade here? And the fifth is Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think he has more value now than he does at the end of the season.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think they could get a little bit more for him now.
For people
But,
trying to make that playoff
yeah, because
push.
they wanna play that playoff push. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you get him for a year and a half, basically, but more than likely, as soon as you trade for him, you're gonna re-up his deal.
Yep. Yep.
I just think you get a little bit more for him now, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. I hope it's a big, huge trade. I love the big trades. It makes things more exciting around the league, stirs things
Yeah.
up. I mean, right now, uh, odds on different teams making it, boy, that would flip everybody around and change
Mm-hmm.
everything up. Because once they make a big move like that, other teams are going to decide, well, gosh, I really need to make that trade too. We want to stay up there with them. And then
Yeah.
the East, if he
Mm-hmm.
stays in the East, I think that's huge for that team that gets him, obviously. Now, if he goes to the West is a little bit more competitive, a little more deep. Who knows what could happen, but,
Yeah.
obviously I see him more of a bigger market team kind of thing. I don't see like some small market teams, but then again, you never know. Cavs could trade for him. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Him
That'd be
and
crazy.
him and Spida together.
Wow.
That'd be
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing basketball there.
he definitely has expressed the interest of going more bigger city, think LA or New York and cities
Yeah.
like that, a bigger market, bigger eyes and everything like that. But I
He
think this
wants
could
to
be a
win though.
Yep, yeah, but I think this trade. I'm really excited for this trade. I hope it happens before the deadline. It would be really great to shake things up, get everybody interested for the second half of the season as we go into the All-Star break here, and really focusing on basketball as football has come to a close. But I think this could
Yep.
be a win-win-win for multiple different teams here, setting up Milwaukee for the future, get a ton of draft picks and a lot of capital there, and then setting up somebody for a playoff push to potentially go all the way to the finals potentially there. So I'm excited to see.
Definitely. I know. I hope there's a bunch of trades by next Thursday. I'm praying.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope
Yep.
so.
Next here we have some NCAA turmoil going on here. What is going on in college sports? The
It's a mess.
NCAA
It's a
is
mess.
a mess right now. They have no control over what's happening. They need a lot of help. Starting off on the left here, we have the situation with Dabo Sweeney and Pete Golding. Obviously, you've probably heard this before on other streams of social media and stuff with this tampering thing where the player Luke basically transferred over to Clemson, and Pete Golding is sending him millions of dollars, a picture of $1 million, saying, "Is this enough to make you transfer over to us now?" He was registered, signed up for classes at Clemson, a weekend, going to practice and training and everything, and then next thing you know, he gets this text, and now he's on Ole Miss. Now he's signed to Ole Miss, and he negated that contract with Clemson, and a clear tampering profile here that has not been quite as big as maybe tampering is obviously going on and has always gone on, but not this public and open with this amount of money.
It's the Wild
And
West.
yeah, and Dabo Sweeney is stepping up because Dabo is not a transfer portal guy.
No, he hates it.
Yeah,
Absolutely despises it. Refuses, but a lot of time to get transfers in. He's got a couple lately, but he doesn't like it at all.
yeah. And
Yeah,
so for this to backfire right in front of his face, he's just like, "What the heck,
yeah.
guys?" Like,
It's not good.
there's no respect,
Yeah. Well,
no
I'm
guardrails.
gonna tell you a couple things here. Number one, this is almost like a societal issue that, we're gonna give you more money, so come over to this side. The grass is always greener over here because we got more money,
Yeah.
and so
And for
a
a 18 to 20-year
yeah,
old,
it's tough. That's exactly what I
that's
was gonna. It's exactly what I was gonna say.
yeah,
Obviously, you're trying to instill good ethics and stuff into these kids and they're just going for the money. You can't blame them. Like you said, they're 18, 19, 20 years old. You can't
yeah,
blame them, but there's no loyalty in anything anymore because of the money. That you like you said, the guy was in class, he's getting texts or stuff sent to him. Hey,
mhm,
you want to come over here now? We got more money for you. It's just like, when's enough enough?
yeah,
I mean, you need to stop, invading these people after the window's closed. Once the window is closed, we got to let it go.
yeah.
So the NCAA football is a complete mess. The nil, the transfers, the all that. It's just made sports very difficult in college, but in college overall.
Yeah, like you said, it's really the Wild West right now, and obviously teams getting acclimated to these really pro level money being spread out there, but without the
Mm.
contractual obligations to this. So what I think needs to happen is if we're gonna pay these kids like adults, then we gotta start treating them like adults. They go to Clemson. You sign a contract that is a whatever terms are on that contract, whether it's a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year deal. You have to have that contract and go
Mhm.
through with that contract, or there is a buyout penalty.
Yep, that's what happened with the Duke player just recently. Did you see that?
No.
The Duke quarterback got a big
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
got the big no
He's
money.
and now he's being sued, right?
He was being sued, but
Yeah.
Duke and the lawyers have come to an agreement that they let him out of it, da 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 yada yada yada, and now
Really.
He's going to Miami. So they came to a
Really.
compromise somehow. Whether I'm assuming they weren't going to give him the money, obviously anymore, but he don't care. Miami's going to give me more money. It's that's the problem. It's like, okay, well, we'll buy out of your contract, so we'll give you more money than you were making, and now you're our player. So yeah, that's the thing. There needs to be more loopholes, so stuff like this just can't happen. You just
Yeah.
can't sign one day and 2 days later, well, I changed my mind.
It's too much.
It,
I'm all for paying the players. I'm all for even, having them transfer, but there has to be guardrails. Right now there's no guardrails at all. It's
yeah,
completely off the hinges here. And then on to basketball here with some other craziness of former college players that then get drafted into the league. Some even here in the first round, and then they play in the G League for a few years. So they play in summer leagues and stuff, and then they are now coming back to college, like this guy from Alabama, this guy from the Baylor Bears here. And
yeah.
so, what do you think about this situation here? Another
Yes.
debacle.
Well, first of all, I think when you declare for the NBA draft, they go through that process. They go through the little camp they have, and then they could either pull their name out before the draft or they stay in the draft. I'm all for that. That's fine. You see what your value is, you do that.
Yeah,
Now
it's pretty
you
clear,
get
right? Yeah,
yeah, but now you get drafted and you're able to go back. College needs to provide some kind of thing saying once you have declared that you're becoming a professional athlete, you're no longer college eligible. And for them to take the people back doesn't make any sense to me. Because once, you say, I'm going to be a professional, well, the problem is that basically college athletes are professional. Now that's part of the problem because they're getting
Yeah,
their
that's
money, they're
that's
getting
the
their name,
that's the
image,
gray
likeness.
area, right? Yeah,
Yeah, so they're like, "Oh, well, I'm basically a professional there. I'm a professional on a basketball team at NBA."
yeah,
I feel like going back to college. I like the college life a little better. The girls are better there. Things are a lot easier to go, you know? So I'm gonna go back to college instead. Well, guess what? I just don't think there's a place for that. You made your decision, now you gotta live with it. Just like a lot of things in life. You make
mhm,
decisions, you gotta live with them. That's just the way it is. And
mhm,
they're just letting these people go back and go back. I don't know. Then again, of course, I'm always old school when it comes to all this kind of stuff, but
yeah,
this stuff is just precedent to the limit to me. I don't know.
mhm. Yeah, I see. Coach Calipari for Arkansas now has always some really good takes on this stuff, and just a no nonsense, old school type of thinking with this. But very realistic. And he's like, who does this really hurt? It hurts American high school graduates. That's who it hurts, because now if you're in college basketball as a coach, as a recruiter, you're now going to be looking at G League players. You're going to be looking at more overseas players who have been playing professional ball for years and years. You're not going to be looking at these high school kids anymore, because you're talking a boy versus a man, right?
Yeah, but now, but that's another thing. And now Ohio and just this week, Michigan has passed that high school athletes could get money, name, image, and likeness. So now they could get money in high school. It
Mm,
is absolutely ugly how it's gone from high school or from the pros back to the college down to high school. It is a complete mess, this whole name, image, likeness. It's taken away from the entire game. You see kids in high school driving these super nice, cars and stuff going to school. It's like, it's crazy to me. You got to earn it, man. And you got to just because you're that good in high school doesn't mean you're going to be that good in the college or pros. But I guess they're going to get their money now. I don't know.
yeah,
More power to them, but I don't know. It's just too
yeah.
much for me. Be a
Yeah,
kid. Be a kid. Be a kid.
I'm for the kids getting paid, because really it's always been money in the background anyway, and people get in trouble for it. And so now, let's at least have it out in the open. And these programs are $1 billion programs for sports now, off the
I
backs of
see
these
that.
kids. And so
I
that's
see
that's
the
how where I
college.
come from.
I mean, high schools aren't making that much. What are they making money on ticket sales? Come
Yeah,
on.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no. Yeah,
in
not
a
not
high
not not high
school?
school. Yeah,
Come
I'm talking
on.
college more so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know about
yeah.
the high school there,
I mean,
which
obviously
I
these
don't know how
colleges
much
are.
these high school kids are making then too, unless they're just that crazy talented and they're getting all these. Because the thing that's changed everything is the internet, Dad. The
Yeah,
social
no, of
media
course.
and these kids who are in high school. Like, think of
Yeah,
if the Ball family, if like Lamar Ball was able,
yeah.
well, they did. They just
They did
worked.
everything. They just didn't do it quite to the extreme that they could have. Now,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
mhm,
They said that
yeah,
last year, by the way, just for instance, some of these schools are gonna be obsolete soon. Rutgers, I think they said last year, their sports programs lost $28,000,000. $28,000,000. And if all these schools, these middle of the road schools, the Rutgers, the Marylands, all these schools, and they're losing money all the time, eventually they're gonna do away with them. So all these kids that are getting all this nil money and all this other stuff, it's all gonna go away because they're not gonna be able to afford to have these programs anymore to fund them. Now, obviously, the bigger schools, Ohio State's, Michigan's, Oregon's, all those, obviously it's a big difference at those schools. But
yeah,
still, it takes a lot of money to run those sports programs. There's only a couple that actually make you the money. You know, I mean, not all. I mean, there's 50 some varsity programs as like Ohio State, Michigan. None of them are making them any money. The only ones making them money are basically football and basketball. That's about it.
mhm,
Besides that,
yeah,
it's a loss. So
mhm,
I don't know.
yeah,
It's really crazy right now.
yeah, we'll see how everything shakes out here in, the Wild West of the NCAA with the new way of how everything's, going here. So
Hmm.
we'll see how things will change. And I'm sure things will, they'll have to and update policies and this and that and everything. So,
And there'll be all kinds of lawsuits. Just wait.
oh yeah, for sure. All right, here we have the AFC NFC games from last week. The obviously we had the Super Bowl matchup set. We had the Patriots win against the Broncos at Mile High, and then Seattle won at home at Lumen Field. Let's see here. The Seattle won 31-27, and the Patriots won 10-7.
Yeah, that was
Really,
a
really just about
yawner.
opposite as possible for the scoring there, huh?
Yeah, that one was a yawner to say the least. But a little recap for that game. Obviously, listen. It's what's crazy here is the Pats went from 4-13 last year to 13-4 this year, which is
Yeah.
a total amazing. And once again, like I've said, a lot of it is the Vrabel factor. I just hope that somebody for the Browns organization does that for them this upcoming year. We'll see what happens. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. Um, but yeah, I mean, and the Browns actually had that opportunity. He was one of their executive staff members last year, and then he gets the Pats gig, and he's on his way to a Super Bowl. What a turnaround for him and the organization. Unbelievable.
Mhm.
I mean, this game obviously was a defensive battle. Decent weather the first half, second half turned into a snowstorm. Um,
Yeah.
I thought Denver was they just weren't in sync. Obviously, Stedman, he had a interception and he had that fumble that looked like a throw behind kind of thing, which eventually that's how Denver or the Pats got their touchdown. Their only touchdown was on
Mhm.
that fumble. Denver, of course, coach kicked himself in the butt again because he didn't take the points when he had the opportunity. When they were
Yeah.
down there, that could have tied the game. Didn't take the points, and that's another thing I want to talk about later on too, Luke, is about taking points and not taking points in certain instances. We're not going to go into that right this second. But, Vrabel won 3 Super Bowls when he was a member of the Patriots. He would be
Mm.
the first coach and player to win a Super Bowl on the same team. Same
Really?
team. Yes.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's very interesting. Uh, you know, and also going back to the game, Denver had their opportunity with that 3, and then, both kickers missed a couple field goals each. So this game was, sloppy, you know, but the Pats defense has only allowed 26 points so far in the entire playoffs. So they've been playing lights out football. But the Pats have only been scoring 18 points a game. So
Mhm.
something's going to have to give here in this next game when they're
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl. May was 10 for 21 for 86 yards. Ugh. He was sacked 5 times. Not
Mhm.
very impressive numbers for May. Seidman was, like I said, 17 for 31 for a touchdown and
Stidham.
Stidham and a
Mhm.
touchdown and an interception. He was sacked 3 times. He had 4 rushes for 23 yards. I think the difference in the game was this. Obviously, the weather played a factor, but hey, that's what it's all about. It's about getting that home field advantage. I've seen a lot of things this week saying, "Oh, maybe we should play all these playoff games in neutral sites or places that are warmer or nicer weather, blah blah, blah, or play them in a dome." No, you work hard all year long to get that home field advantage. Lots of teams build their teams based upon where they play. And if you play at home, learn to live with it. You got to learn to live with the weather. Weather's
Mhm.
part of it. Unless you got a
And
dome,
the home field advantage didn't work out for them.
no, it didn't. But like I said, a couple little things. First of all, I thought not going for the 3 cost them.
Mhm.
Also, I thought that they should have possibly ran the ball with S Jarrett Stidham. Is that right? Yep.
Stidham. Stidham,
Stidham.
the quarterback.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought they should have ran him more. If you watch that first play, he did a fake, and then he took it
Mhm.
on the ball after that. He got, like, 10 yards. They ran
Yeah.
him a couple more times, but I just didn't think they used him enough. The difference in the game was also Drake May ran the ball crazy. He ran the ball. He was the difference for the offense. The offense was stagnant except for him. He had, like, 65 yards rushing. Had a great
Mm.
great game rushing, kept the drives alive, kept the I mean, heck, they had the ball for the first 8 to 9 minutes of the 3rd quarter, and they got that field goal, and that was the end of the scoring, it was over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's my opinion on that game right there. What do you think,
Yeah,
Luke?
yeah, I thought once that snow came in, there was no more scoring, and so just thinking back, like you said, Dad, uh, the Broncos coach Sean, as far as if it
Sean, what'd you say?
yeah, if he would have known that the snow was going to come down quite like it was going to, if he would have went for that or kicked the field goal there potentially there, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking there. But I mean, Stidham didn't play bad at all. He really didn't. I mean, this was obviously still a close game. I think if the weather didn't come in the second half, I think that the Broncos could have made some drives there and potentially pulled it out. Stidham had that amazing deep ball touchdown. I was like, oh boy, they're going to the Super Bowl. I saw that play. I was like, oh yeah, this is for real. Like they're legit. He can ball out, and I think they're gonna win. Once I saw that there, but definitely shout out to the Patriots. Like you said, going from a really bad losing record last year to going all the way to the Super Bowl this year. Drake May and Vrabel, all the Patriots fans are spoiled rotten. I don't want to hear any complaining from any Patriots fan ever. Um, I don't care what season it is in the future, how bad you get. It's always better for the Patriots fans there. Yeah, shout out to Vrabel and Drake May there, and getting the win and going to the Super Bowl there. Obviously, like you said, Drake May had that really big scramble on that
Mhm.
fourth down there to solidify them that game, and that was that.
Yeah, and you just never would have known what would happen if Bo Nix would have been there. They could have changed the game plan a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely know they would have ran him a little bit more. Comes out today, supposedly Bo Nix had a pre-existing problem with his ankle that it was just a matter of time before something like this was going to happen. So that
Mm,
came out today.
mm,
And I just found that out. I was like, if they had this pre-existing condition, why don't they take care of it, do something preventative or something or other? But yeah,
yeah,
I
I don't
didn't
know.
really get all the details on what this pre-existing condition was. But yeah, so it's just sad
Mm,
that he had to get hurt that the game before and wasn't able to play. But you got to play with what you got. It's just the way it is. That's why your backup is as valuable as your starter, and you got to give them reps. You got to get them in the game and get them practice. So you know,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, how about the next game here? We got
yeah,
the
yeah.
Rams and the Seahawks. Obviously, a lot higher scoring
Oh,
game,
this is a shootout
better
here.
weather game.
Loved it. Love this game. I mean, look at this. Stafford, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Was only sacked once. Puka, huge game, 165 yards, TD. You had, the 1-2 punch of Corman Williams did a nice job. Darnold, 346, 3 touchdowns, was sacked 3 times. Walker, I thought, ran the ball really well. He had a touchdown. And of course, Smith and Jigba, 153 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he was, I think, the difference in the game
Yeah,
for them.
insane,
Uh,
insane.
yeah, I mean, LA did almost did a Denver here. Should have taken the points, I thought, near the end of the game. That would have put them within a point, and obviously, I think it would have set up the game a little bit different. I know they still needed another point in order to go ahead. They would have had to kick three, obviously, but at the end, they were just throwing those Hail Marys. Then Puka did get out of bounds there in that last play, but the Rams also cost themselves on that muff punt. And the muff punt they had.
Hmm.
The guy was going to catch it, hit him up here in the shoulder pads, fumble. Next play, Patriots touchdown. I think that was one of the biggest differences in the game. Seattle almost cost themselves too because the Rams were coming back near the end. Turnover. It was going to be a turnover on downs, fourth down, unsportsmanlike conduct on Seattle, and then they got the first down, and then Puka caught the touchdown, which got them within 4 points.
Yeah.
So it was a great game. Though it was one back and forth. I loved. It was a much better game than the first game. Much
Hmm.
better. Of course, my Rams are gone. I'm sad about that. Uh, Danny picked the Seattle. Shout out to Danny for picking that. We were all three of us were 1-1. Me and Luke picked the Patriots. Danny picked Denver, and me and Luke picked LA, and Danny picked the Seattle Seahawks. So
Yep.
now it
Yep.
comes down to the matchup of Seattle against New England in the Super.
Yep, in the Super Bowl there. So yeah, for me, JSN and Sam Darnold, what an insane duo there. And for all of the haters towards Sam Darnold and saying that he was gonna choke in the big game, I mean, this is as big as it gets besides the Super Bowl right here. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's it all turned out well for him this season.
And just think about this too, by the way. They traded DK Metcalf before the season started. People were like, "Oh, they're just rebuilding a little bit, they want to
Yeah,
get some draft picks and
new
yada,
coach.
you know, they want to cut some money, don't want to pay the guy." And look at now, Smith and Jigba is a superstar. He's flourished without DK Metcalf not being there. He's an absolute
Hmm.
stud, and
Insane.
their team is so much better without DK Metcalf on their team. It's amazing.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I remember Tom Brady announcing the game, saying that JSN is like an ice skater out there, like a figure skater. How he's like moving around with it just with his feet there and everything. And I saw some videos afterwards of him playing at OSU and some catches he was making back then with his footwork of everything. And yeah,
He's amazing. He's
he's
got
insane.
amazing footwork.
He's insane. Yeah. All right. We have now here some other
Uh,
headlines along the league. We have some big head coaching vacancies that were taken up here. We still have the Raiders and the Cardinals that have not announced a head coach at this time of filming on Wednesday night, January 28th, right here. Obviously, let's just start it here, get it out of the way. We had an announcement today for our Cleveland Browns for Todd Monken to be
yes.
the head coach of the Brownies here. What do you think?
Well, I wrote all my notes here
Okay.
last night about the Browns, anticipating that they probably wouldn't even sign somebody by today, but of course they did. But I'm gonna go over a couple of my things real quick here. First of all, this whole search for the Browns head coach, it's just doesn't. There's just no flow to it. It seems very inconsistent. It seems like they wanted to go this youth route in order to find the next Sean McVay or whatever. They wanted to find that up and coming superstar to have for a super long time, and it's turned out to be just a farce. The thing is, Munkin was the very first coach that they interviewed, the very first coach, and then it comes around that he is the last coach that they now have picked. And the thing is, the Browns didn't fulfill the Rooney Rule until just Monday because they didn't put out there any minority candidates. And the one of them that did, obviously turned the Browns down, didn't want to interview with them even. So I just think this whole thing has been run inefficiently, in my opinion. And Andrew Berry, I think he's incompetent. He's had one good draft since he's been with the Browns. One good draft. Um, I just think that he really doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he's the one that provided the Browns this year with no receivers. He provided them with no offensive linemen. He traded Joe Flacco during the season, his starting quarterback for the season. He traded him to his divisional rival in season. These are things that you just can't write. I mean, when you look at the Browns draft picks here, they're terrible. Besides this year, they're terrible. The only players that he's got worth two beans are Martin Emerson, Jeremiah Wusu, whatever his name is, and
JOK.
JOK, and Delpit. Besides that, nothing. He's produced nothing. And the whole
Well, this
Watson
year.
deal, besides this year, yeah, one year, but he's
Yeah.
drafted now. He's drafted now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 years he's drafted. He's got one good
Hmm.
class.
Yeah.
I just think he's garbage,
Well,
you
Dad,
know.
I think the thing is, I agree, and I think Barry is too data oriented and not a football guy. But
Yeah.
I think that a lot of it comes from Haslam. I think
Yeah. You're right.
he really has the last say. So
He
he
does.
made this hire.
I
He
think you're
makes
right.
a lot of these picks that you're
Yeah, I
saying
think
to put the blame on Andrew Barry. So
yeah.
I think we need to talk about the ownership instead and not point fingers to Andrew Barry here because it's the ownership.
Well, it is.
Let's be real here.
It is, and I maybe that's why he kept him around because he would stay his little puppet.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the only thing that really makes sense because really he should have let him go and start anew with a new GM too. But but Monken's a no nonsense kind of guy. And as I've done my research over the day, at the beginning of the day, I was like totally against it.
Uh
First
huh.
time head coach, going to be 60 years old next week. He's going to be the oldest first time coach in NFL history. So it's like, come on. He was a head coach at Southern Miss. He's been offensive coordinator. Actually, he was the offensive coordinator for the 2019 Browns under Freddie Kitchens, which Freddie Kitchens was the coach and he called the plays. Todd Monken was the offensive coordinator then. And he also came out and said what dysfunction there was within the Browns organization under Freddie Kitchens. So he sort of threw Freddie under the bus, which,
Hmm.
among the coaching ranks, that's a no. You don't throw your coaches under the bus like that. So, I know he's a no nonsense guy. I hope he's able to shore up the offense. I'm a little worried about what happened with him and Jackson at the end of the year. I mean, Jackson didn't want him there anymore. Harbaugh didn't want to fire him because he's his buddy, and actually, he was supposed to go to the Giants, so he didn't get the Browns job.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a wait and see as always, but unfortunately, 99.9% of the time, it turns out to be bad. I always try
Hmm.
to stay positive with these new hires and stuff, but we'll wait and see. But it never looks good. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah, I think I'm on kind of the same page as you when I first heard when you texted me. This is how I found out, and I was like, no, I'd go and look it up and see all the stuff and everything, and I'm like, this is like probably the last person I wanted to out of all the candidates that we've interviewed. This is the one I was probably least excited for. I would have rather had Udinsky, would have rather had
Schwartz,
Shielhouse, Schwartz.
Schwartz is talking about not playing. He doesn't want to be there with them now. Too. He came out and said today. Did you see that? Schwartz has
Well,
said he does not
yeah,
want to be the D coordinator.
yeah, he's not going to be. Yeah, and
So
obviously,
yeah,
of course, he took offense to not
yeah,
getting the head coach job because he felt like he should get it, and
I get it.
the Browns were leading him on the whole entire time that he was going to get this. But
Yeah.
it just it's Brown stuff. There, from what I've heard, and who knows how much of this is actually factual here, or whether it's just rumors of all the interviews they've done with the people. They've said one of one of our things is that we need to have Schwartz as the defensive coordinator if you're going to be the head coach. And some people, a lot of people didn't like that because they want to bring in all their own staff, and
Right.
that's how stuff works all the time.
It's true.
And now you hire Munkin,
Mm.
and Schwartz is mad and he's gonna leave there. So I knew instantly when they announced Munkin and there wasn't anything about Schwartz. That was the first thing I asked you. That was the first thing I was looking in the comments of all these posts and everything. I'm like, oh, did they mention anything about Schwartz? What about Schwartz? That
Yeah.
would have made me feel a lot better about this. Offensive minded new head coach. Some fresh blood but
Mm.
experienced. And then Schwartz, amazing defensive coordinator, or amazing defense from last year. Okay, like we got a really solid core here. But
Right.
now it's not. And from the defensive locker room, I'm sure is going to be upset from this.
Oh, definitely.
And we'll see how this turns out. At the beginning of the day, I was really mad about it. But now after taking some time looking into Munkin more and everything, obviously I want him to do good. I want the Browns to do amazing, and I think it really could pan out to be a good hire depending on who else he brings into the front here. Who's going to be the offense coordinator? Who's going to be defensive coordinator? I saw the
Mm.
offensive line coach.
Yeah, they
He's
signed him
bringing
today.
the
Yeah.
yeah, the offensive line coach from the Ravens, who I guess
Mhm.
is supposedly like a top 5 offensive line coach
Yeah.
in the whole league or whatever there. So I think
Right.
this could bring some good mojo here potentially,
Yeah.
and offensive minded. Shadur posted that's
Oh, he did?
time to get to work. Yeah, he
Did
posted
he?
time to get
Okay.
to work
Nice.
at this
Okay.
head coach signing here. So I'm optimistic, but it wasn't my first choice. It's not a young flashy guy. It's more of
Yeah.
a, solid or more safe veteran sort of a guy here, but it's still his first time
Right.
head coaching, so it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still wishy-washy about it, but we'll see how it all pans out at the end of the day. I think if we have the talent put out there, then I think Monkey can do it. He can do a good job. I think he can.
I mean, if you look at the 8 candidates that have signed so far, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of them are brand new head coaches, and 4 of them have been a head coach before. So there's only, 3
Hmm.
guys that are young bucks kinda guy, and
Yeah,
and then obviously, Joe Brady was hired this week, McCarthy,
yeah.
since we've talked last,
What do you think
you
about
know
McCarthy?
well, once again, I mean, a lot of these teams are in the same situation the Browns are in about their quarterback problems. I mean, obviously, you look at it, Buffalo good, Giants good, Ravens are good, Miami up in the air. Tennessee, they got Ward. He's still a work in progress as far as I'm concerned. Steelers, they don't know what their quarterback's going to be. Would
Yeah,
Rodgers want to come back and reunite with McCarthy from the Green Bay days?
that'd be
You know,
something, huh?
yeah, Atlanta. What are they? Is Penix going to be their quarterback, or are they going to bring Cousins, or what are they going to do with that? And then, of course, Monken. This is obviously his first time coaching Shador, or
Watson.
is he going to rejuvenate Watson? I mean,
Hmm.
so Watson and Jackson to me are sort of comparable, kind of, especially when Watson was good with the Texans. They
Hmm.
could have been very comparable.
Yeah, I mean,
So
obviously Munkin brought the best out of Jackson, and at least in the beginning. Yeah, obviously,
yeah,
we now
and a
with
little
everything
fallout.
how it
Yeah,
panned out, and at the end, a little fallout. But MVP year for Jackson, and Munkin was the head person calling the plays
yeah.
there. I mean, that's
So yeah,
something pretty big there. So,
yeah, we'll see. So we'll see with that, even though that's still a mess in progress. But
hmm
so yeah,
yeah,
well,
really
there's
like the Joe Brady. Really like the Joe Brady hire for the
yeah,
Bills. I think they got their guy there, the young guy. If firing Mc, McDaniel. There's so many
McDermott,
McDermott.
Sean
There's
McDermott. Yeah,
Sean, yeah, firing Sean McDermott. I think it makes a lot more sense now hiring that Joe
yeah.
Brady, given that they had the guy in the building. He's Josh Allen's guy.
Mm,
Give the young guy a chance, fresh start, but still within the same system. I really like that hire.
right. Hey, Luke. By the way, if
Hmm.
this tells you anything, Bronny's in the game. So
Uh,
114-84 Cavaliers with 6 minutes to go in the game.
wow,
Wha-
jeez, yeah, come on,
Cru-
LeBron, come to Cleveland.
yeah, they're crushing them, rushing
Yeah,
them. Whew.
we'll take Bronny too.
No, I don't want no freaking Bronny. Good God, dude. Ugh. Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry. As we divert back to
So the AFC North now has all their head coaches.
yeah.
You said you mentioned Minter last week. I don't remember. I don't know too much about Minter.
Well, Minter was the Ravens D coordinator. Went to
You mean the
Michigan. Was
Chargers?
no,
No.
he was, I believe, he was some kind of coach on the Ravens.
Okay.
Went to
Uh huh.
Michigan. then went from Michigan to the Chargers, and now Chargers back to the Ravens. He started on the Ravens, this whole thing, so he's hit a
Hmm.
full circle here. So yeah, so I mean, he's a defensive minded coach, Halfley defensive minded, Salah defensive minded. Um, half the coaches are defensive minded, and half the coaches are offense
There you
on
go.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
actually, only 3 of them are defensive minded, 5 are
Hmm.
offensive minded. But yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens. But obviously, as you can see, of course, the last 3 teams to get a coach are the crummiest teams to get a
Yeah.
coach.
Of
I
course.
mean,
Hmm.
they're it just seems to go hand in hand. Nobody really wants to go there, but well, we'll get this guy. It's one of 32 jobs. Somebody's gonna want the job. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's gonna pay good money. You're gonna
Oh
probably a
yeah.
5-year deal. You'll get 35 to $40 million. And when they fire you in 2 or 3 years, you're gonna get all your money guaranteed, and you go off the sunset. So
Hmm. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly here. But for Munkin, do we think the that Pro Bowler Shadur Sanders is going to like Munkin here? So Shadur was
yeah.
is now on the Pro Bowl as
It's
Drake May has
really
gone to the
unbelievable.
Super Bowl here. Doesn't
Really
make any
unbelievable.
sense. Obviously, he beat out Trevor Lawrence, the best year of his entire career. He was
Uh,
an MVP candidate. Trevor Lawrence.
yeah. Heck, even Aaron Rodgers is better. Come on. I
Aaron
mean,
Rodgers, even
so
Joe Burrow has better stats with
yeah,
playing
yeah,
just
and
a
he
couple
played,
games.
yeah. So I don't really understand. Do these guys get picked? Did everybody else turn it down, and he just said, "Oh yeah, well, sure, we'll go play," or is it based upon
It's got
some?
to be fan voting, right?
I don't know. I didn't know the fans voted the replacements. I don't know. I have to
Yeah,
look
I don't
into more
know.
of this because it boggles my mind. To me, for the NFL, it's a money grab. They want the publicity. They want him out there. They want to sell more jerseys. I mean, it's a publicity stunt as far as I'm concerned. That's all there is to it. Matter of fact, it's funny. One of my good friends actually texted today saying, "How in the world is he a Pro Bowler?" And he put up his
Hmm.
stats. His stats are, had more
Yeah, it's
interceptions than
terrible.
touchdowns, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, how does whatever? It's just crazy to me. But
yeah,
yeah, good for him though. I
yeah,
mean, I hope he
yeah.
does well. It could be a good way to grow up. Be around other players that are good and have some of that greatness wear off on him. So I hope that happens.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be obviously one of the only situations where you make the Pro Bowl and you don't know if you're actually going to be the starter next year on the same
Yeah,
team
that's
there,
sort of
right?
fun.
It's like,
It's sort
we
of
don't even
funny. Yeah.
know if he's going to be the starter. We don't know if they're going to draft another quarterback,
We never know
if
he's going to be, like
Watson's
you
going to
said,
be
on
in
the team.
there. Or
Even you don't know.
yeah, we no idea here.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I like you said, I hope this gives him some I don't think he needs any more confidence necessarily, but some more insight from some other players there at the Pro Bowl, and then get the franchise around him some more,
Hmm.
because I think we need to give it a go. We need to give the Shadur Sanders thing a go, and if we
Hmm.
suck this season, then guess what? We could have a great pick next year, and we got
And
a lot
Munkin
of
will be
quarterbacks
fired.
coming in. Munkin will be fired before Brook Park percent. It's like a guaranteed, right? Brook Park is going to be 2030, and
Then
so
again,
it's
who
this whole
knows
thing.
even if they're going to have Brook
They don't
Park?
care about they don't care about anything until Brook Park, and so that's their
Yeah,
main focus. So that's why they didn't make a big flashy hire.
yeah.
Something
Because
more on the ground
obviously,
here.
Miles Garrett will be gone before Brook Park. This whole team, the current team they have, will be completely new by the time it's Brook Park. You know that, right? It's
Miles will be gone.
20. Oh yeah, it's 2029.
Didn't he?
He's only got 3 years
Didn't he
left on
sign
his
a?
3-year. He's got 3 years left, so he signed a
Okay.
4-year deal. So
Mm.
that will lead him right up to the opening of that. But then again, who knows if they're even going to play there in 29? They're having still all these problems with the city and the city suing them, and whether they're going to get this unclaimed funds money from the state, and it's
Hmm.
Cleveland Browns football, folks, it is a three-ring circus, and it never stops.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Mhm. Yeah. Well,
Yep.
in case you were wondering, Pro Bowl voting is determined by a three-part system where votes from fans, players, and coaches each count towards 1/3 of the total vote. So, yeah,
Is that
fans,
also f
players, and coaches.
I understand that was, that also for people that can't go? Like Drake the reason why he got in was because Drake May couldn't go. So, does that apply for that too? So you mean to tell me
That's a
that
good question.
coaches and players were saying, "Hey, we need Shador there, man. We need him to light it up for
It
us."
says here Pro Bowl replacements are selected from a ranked list of alternatives based on the original combined voting results. 1/3 from
Wow.
fans, players, coaches. When a player withdraws due to injury, personal reasons, or reaching the Super Bowl, the next highest ranked player at
He
that
was
position from the initial voting is selected there.
he was the
Unless we're
next
missing something, and
highest ranked player. Now I can see all the fans. All the fans want him there. They yeah, all these young kids, they love him. Da, da, I
yeah,
get it. So obviously he's number one on the fan thing. I get that. On
yeah.
one of the one thirds, right? He's number one. But the players and coaches are even ranking him
But
mid tier.
I guess then the thing there is I don't know, I guess how the rank what
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy though. It is crazy, and that's all there is to it. But we'll stick with that. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that there. Well, then we also have some other news here,
Yes.
another headline of craziness. This is a crazy episode of some stupid
Stupid.
crazy stuff. Bill
Yeah.
Belichick Bill Belichick not a first
Uh,
ballot Hall of Famer. He's not going to Canton quite yet. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. He's arguably, probably even not arguably, the best head coach of all time in the NFL. Doesn't get in the first ballot. Why do you think this is?
well, first of all, if I'm him, I may tell them I never want to be in there now because this is the deal. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then you should never have a coach in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Never. The man's won 8 Super Bowls total, 6 as a head coach, 2 as an assistant coach. Okay. He's made 12 Super Bowl appearances, 31 playoff wins, 17 divisional champions. To me, this is absolutely mind blowing. The whole public is in awe about it. All these athletes are protesting, you know, obviously it has to be a personal vendetta with some of these pro football Hall of Fame people that are voting that have a vote.
I
And some
guess so.
obviously, as far as I'm concerned, if they voted no for him to go in, they should take their vote away and give it to someone else because it's preposterous. Now, don't get me wrong. He won most of his Super Bowls because of Tom Brady. No, there's no doubt about that. But he was the coach and he
Yeah,
put him
no, it
in
is.
the right
Mm-hmm.
situations to be excellent. And it
Mm-hmm.
was a marriage between Brady and him. And for him not to go in on the first ballot, so you telling me that Tom Brady's not a first ballot Hall of Famer? Well, heck, why would he be? I mean, he was part of Spygate. He was part of Deflategate. So you're going to take away Brady going into the Hall of Fame? Give me a break. This is the biggest joke in pro football Hall of Fame voting ever, ever. It's to
Mm-hmm.
me, I mean, I know he fell from relevance a little bit too, and Brady left, wasn't quite the same, started to, wanted to get jobs everywhere. Then he had to resort to getting a job at North Carolina. And then he gets this young hottie girlfriend. And maybe, they're all jealous about her or something. I don't know. But all I know is it is absolutely ridiculous. We're grading him based upon how he was as a coach. The numbers speak for themselves. That's the end of the story.
Yeah. No, I don't know how this happened. I don't know if maybe just his name on the list wasn't in bold enough print or something, or there was some problem at the voting in some capacity where they didn't know he was eligible, or I don't know, because it just doesn't make sense in just in reality, just based on everything that about football. Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best coaches of all time.
I
Period.
I
There's
sure
I don't
I
know.
sure hope they come back with a revote or something. I mean, come on. I mean, really? It's that
Yeah.
obvious. If it's smacking you in the face and you didn't realize this, to me, a revote needs to be had. They need to reconcile the problem that happened and go move on with it. Because if they don't do anything about it, they're going to look even worse. So that's
Yeah,
my
I don't know
opinion.
if it's just a situation where it's like there's obviously certain like legends from the NFL, both coaches and players from, decades ago, that are, they're the voters are trying to get them in there as well. They know Belichick is going to be a Hall of Famer, so it's like, let's try to get some of these other guys in here who have been, on
No,
the,
because that's not true.
potential.
You know who else didn't get
No,
into this time too? Eli Manning didn't get in second time in a row, which is fine. I mean, he won a
really.
couple Super Bowls. I get it. Is
Uh-huh.
he gonna get
Yeah.
in? I think he gets in eventually, obviously.
He'll get in, yeah. Uh-huh. See, it
But
just takes some time,
so the
I guess.
whole proudness of, well, we got to get other guys in. Now, listen, you get as many guys in that deserve to be in. End of story. He's the number one
Mhm.
coach ever. Ever. You can't win
Mhm.
6 Super
Yeah.
Bowls and not 6 Super Bowls as a head coach and 8 total and not get into the Hall of
No,
Fame
yeah,
on your first vote.
I agree.
So,
I
anyways,
agree.
that's
Yeah, he
that's
deserves
just
to
it is.
be there in Kenton.
Yep. All right.
Well, that really
What's
wraps it
this?
up for this week of the Robinson replay. This is the graphic for the Super Bowl here. Obviously, we had the Patriots and the Seahawks. We're going to be making our picks for next week, so not quite right yet, but early lines. What's the early lines on this game here, Dad?
I'm not really 100% positive, to be honest with you. I think it's 4.5 for
Oh, I thought you were just saying, yeah.
no, I think it's four and a
Oh,
half for the Seahawks, and I believe it's 46.5 over under, but I'm not 100% on that. Do you have a number there?
okay, yeah. Let me see here. So yeah, it is correct. Yeah, 4.5 points favorite for the Seahawks,
Mhm.
and the over under is 45.5.
Oh, 45.5. Okay, 45. Well,
Mm-hmm.
hey,
Yep, that's the early line.
I anticipate a good game here. We'll see how the weather is in San Francisco. I mean, I've seen a couple games this year in San Francisco. Bloody pouring down rain. That was that game a couple weeks ago before I think it was one of the last games in regular season. I think it was San Francisco and Seattle in California there, and it was a terrible monsoon game. I mean, everyone pushing the water off the
Mm-hmm.
field. So hopefully it's good weather.
Yeah,
Obviously Super Bowl obviously is always usually a controlled kind of a thing. I get that for the Super Bowl. That's why it's you're not a home game for anybody.
neutral.
That's
Yeah,
neutral field. So I totally get that one.
yeah,
I just hope it's a good high scoring game. I love good high scoring games. I'm in some squares, so I want to make sure that a lot of points are scored. A lot of points are scored. Love that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see these two little young gunslingers go against each other.
yeah. Definitely two teams you wouldn't have expected to be here
I would
from the
never
start of
pick
the
these
year
two at the
here,
beginning
and
here. No,
nope, never,
never would have picked
never.
them.
But both
Not a
both
chance.
well deserving. Yeah, both well deserving though after an amazing season, and either of these teams winning will be really monumental for each franchise, and a rematch of 2015 here, a
Yes.
decade later, from the Super Bowl matchup back then in 2015 here. So it's all coming really full circle here for these two
Do we have a
squads here
special guest
historically.
next week, sir, or no? Have you signed anybody up yet?
Not yet determined. Not yet 100% here
To be
determined. But
determined.
we
Okay.
we will yet Yeah, to be determined on a potential special guest for the Super Bowl episode there.
Eh,
But yeah, that will be obviously the main focus of next week is all about the Super Bowl. And then after that, we do have a special guest after the Super Bowl, right, Dad?
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Daniel will be
You
coming
wanna?
back with right before,
Mm-hmm.
the All-Star break, and we'll talk about the NBA trade deadline because the trade deadline is next
Yep.
Thursday. We tape on Wednesday, so we'll talk about that the following week. We'll summarize the Super Bowl. We'll look ahead to
Mm-hmm.
the second half of the NBA season. So there's a lot of things. And listen, all of you out there,
Yep.
like our stuff. Give us a follow. The more people we get out there too, the better. It's fun for us. We enjoy doing these. So, like and share our stuff and follow us and get the word out about the Robinson replay.
Yep, we appreciate you as we're coming to the end of the NFL season right here. We've been now like what 22 weeks straight or something like that
Yeah.
for this since the very first week of the NFL here. So
And we plan on
we've been on
continuing
on a
it.
roll here, and so
Obviously, there's going to
yeah,
be a
and so
couple
obviously
times we'll be on
basketball coming up here,
vacation.
other sports.
Yeah, there'll be
hmm
a couple times when we're on vacation or something that maybe we won't be able to do it. Somebody maybe overseas for
Yeah.
some things. So we will take a
hmm
break here or there, but we plan on doing it every week still, taping on Wednesdays and going on from there.
On a closing note here, we will see you next week for the Robinson replay for the Super Bowl picks. Super excited for this, and we'll catch you later. Peace.